you were talking about the conference in London. That's the, what's it called? The Rebus
It was the
R3, right?
So a lot of folks from the R3. So the R3 is the Rhizomatic Revolutionary Review. So
Never knew how to say that word. It had to be there.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It's a tough one, but in short, the R3. So that's a new peer review journal focused just on BTS and ARMY, which is so exciting because I think a lot of people are starting to do research on BTS and ARMY. So to have at least a collection that keeps all of that work together, I think is great. But the BTS conference in January was. It was in London, and it actually had a bunch of people, like the creators of it and the folks who put it together, as well as a lot of the presenters are a part of the R3. But it was kind of the first time we saw people coming together from all over the world, just sharing research and information and stories about BTS and ARMY. It was a ton of fun, and I hope that we have that again in the near future, in whatever way we're able to do it. But yeah,
I think I've never heard about anything like it, like coming together as fans, but from an academic point of view and presenting research, and it must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was one of the best experiences ever. I mean, I think for everyone who went there, I know a lot of people I spoke to, it was like we came there and we all kind of knew that we had common interest in like having this research academic perspective on BTS, but like it really did feel like home almost. It was weird, like going there and just connecting with everybody and being able to share ideas and like openly discuss like different topics. It was so much fun and just cool to find like-minded people and others who share the same interest from an academic perspective. Because even me, for a long time, I thought I was the only one who had an interest, but didn't even know how would I go about finding people who wanted to study similar things. And I hear that from people a lot who recently joined Twitter and just discover like this entire BTS academic community. I mean, unless like I think I found the conference because I got on Twitter, and it was almost just perfect timing that I started my Twitter account and started following a bunch of people. And I know that in Korea they held a BTS kind of summit and a lot of those same people also went to the BTS conference. And so I started finding out that there was this whole research community. It was like so fascinating and so grateful to have that network. And so I expect in the next couple months and the next year, we're going to see so much work on BTS. So it's great.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. Like, because I think conferences are really, they can be good and bad, because sometimes you go to those massive ones.
Right.
And they're like, everyone is doing their tiny little research that usually doesn't relate to anyone else there, and it's just so boring. But you go because they're considered good because they're so big and massive. And then you have those tiny ones where people do share a bit more of a common interest and common research, but it's never with a passion like BTS, like ARMY has for BTS.
Right. Yeah.
And here you it's a subject that like I think like you really get, because even without the research, you love them, you care for it, you're interested in it. There's so much data and so much new things constantly happening, and then you put your own academic spin on it, and it takes it to a new level academic wise.
Yeah.
So you go to a conference like that's filled with passionate people, not just people that do research in your same field, but they're passionate, and passion is it's electrifying, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was definitely an experience that I'd never had before, and I totally agree. So different from normal conferences that a lot of us students and academics go to. So yeah, there's certainly a lot to learn from there from a conference perspective. But I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think the passion that fans have, and especially to have that academic twist to it, just like really enhances that experience even more. So
yeah. Did you find, like, from other people in your field but that do different research, like how do they see it? Because even music wise, like boy bands and pop music has this usually negative connotation, and the people that follow that kind of music have the connotation of screaming, shrilling teenage girls. They're just manic and hysteria and all that. And how, like, doing research and something like that, how did you feel, and what's it look like from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, looking back at it, it all kind of started with my master's. So I go to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV. So I've been a student there forever, and so did my.
I feel you. I've been in the same university for 13 years now.
Yeah, that's like I'm on track to be the same. So so I was doing my master's there on my One Direction thesis, and it obviously all comes down to your faculty and how supportive they are of that topic, and whether or not you can get people to support you and be on your side for it. So for a while when I was doing my master's, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I think one of the biggest advice that I'd gotten that I really just held close to me was in picking a research topic was to pick something that you're passionate about, because you can talk about it and write about it all day, and this, right? Like, going through a program like a master's or PhD, you do get burnt out a little bit from just thinking about the exact same thing like 24/7. Like you literally like eat, sleep, drink, whatever that topic is. Like, I remember dreaming about my thesis like every day. It's like you just couldn't get away from it. And so I was told to pick something that you love and you're passionate about, so that it doesn't like so that you don't start to hate it, essentially. And so I struggled with it quite a bit. And I knew I loved, boy bands and One Direction, but I was like, well, I don't know what I could even do a topic about for that. So let me just focus on social media. But, eventually was able to find a way to bring those two together. And I'm lucky that I had faculty in my school to support me in that sense, and whether or not they knew about it, they were super open to learning more about the topic. And then same thing, as I moved into the PhD program, it was, so my master's was in journalism and media studies, but one of my committee members was in the sociology department. So once I joined the department, that faculty member was still super on board. And it's funny, he's an older professor, and you would never think that he would be super interested in anything like K-pop or BTS or anything like that. But the minute I suggested that I wanted to continue doing fan studies and continue with BTS, like, he was so excited about it. And he told me, he's like, I don't know who they are, but they're everywhere. He's like, get away from them. When I turn on the TV, they're there. I think it was around the time when they were doing like a lot of US press last year. Like, he was so fascinated by it. And I'm super lucky to have faculty who are supportive of it and willing to learn. And it's funny, even during this time in quarantine, that particular faculty member, we were emailing back and forth, and he helped compile a bunch of articles for me just to read. And he told me he had almost read everything already. He was so interested in it. So it's super important to find faculty like that who are just as passionate as you are and open to it. And I'm certainly grateful for that, because I know that that's not the case for everyone. And I've heard stories of some people wanting to study something like BTS, and they have faculty members who are like, no, I don't think that that's really that important, or I don't want to do it. And so again, I'm just super lucky that I have people who are open to it.
Yeah, I think the professor you're under, it's like super, that's just in general, it's like super important, because that's like, we call it your academic parent. Even more important than your research field, because that's the person that you have to work with. That's the one you answer to. He's like, you need someone like that who's supportive of you and not just trying to dismiss your opinions or treat you badly. Like,
right,
it really has a big impact. So I'm super happy you have people around you that appreciate it.